Hi, Manu from Healing with Manu. In this video I will talk about gratitude and forgiveness. I see these two values as key states to be in on a permanent basis. The more grateful you are and the more forgiving you are, the happier you will be. To quote Chase Hughes, he said that your life would profoundly change if you were delusionally grateful, and I'm adding the word forgiving as well here. So it's like, for me, you've got grateful on the one side of a coin, let's say heads, and then on the other side you've got tails, and no matter how you flick the coin, you flip it, and however it lands on the table, either is a good indicator of happiness. So it's the same alloy, but the difference, the same material, right? But the difference is that gratitude really anchors you into the present, whereas forgiveness is more orientated towards the past. But when you work on both of them, you will radically change your life, that's for sure. So let's talk about gratitude first up. So the benefits of gratitude are just immense. I mean, there are thousands of experiments that have been carried out and documented about the benefits of gratitude. They help with better mental clarity, better sleep, less physical pain, all sorts of hormones, the hormones of cognition and pleasure. And I'm talking here about dopamine, about oxytocin, the hormone of social connection, the immune and inflammatory cytokines. They are the ones that just tell you whenever your body is inflamed or not. Well, they are decreased when you are being grateful. Cortisol, you get more cortisol, which is the hormone of stress, the one that fights stress. Glycemia, the sugar in the blood is down. Your heart and brain rhythms are much smoother and stable. Serotonin, the moods of the hormones of mood, serotonin and norepinephrine. Anyway, the benefits are huge. So there is no doubt that in the scientific literature, it is advised for people to practice gratitude. And it sounds so cliche, doesn't it? Like when people say, practice gratitude. But stuff cliches, because it bloody works. So it's something that is of paramount importance in my eyes, and that's why I'm talking about it now. There was a doctor called, can't remember his name, Wise Marmy or something like that, and basically said if gratitude was a drug, it would be the most sold drug in the world as far as what it can do for all the bodily organs. So it's huge. So how do you develop gratitude? Well, there are several ways which I'm going to talk about. One of them is paying a compliment to people. When was the last time you paid a compliment to someone? Like a giving compliment, not giving a compliment to hear something nice back. Does it make sense? So give compliments. It could be about anything. It could be about someone's, a lady's scarf that she's wearing that's really pretty. It could be a word that someone said that was really kind. Or it could be sort of how pertinent someone's point was or accurate. Anything. And then when you get given a compliment, don't brush it off. Say to yourself in your mind, I deserve it. I deserve it. And if your egoic mind goes, oh, no, it means that you haven't learned yet the true value of who you are. Forget about blame and guilt. You are truly beautiful. So if a compliment was paid in a very spontaneous, honest manner, take it, say thank you. According to Shawn Achor, who's one of the world experts in gratitude, he says that money should not be a determining factor. Money apparently sort of taints the authentic goal of gratitude. It just does not side with gratitude, because money is very materialistic, whereas gratitude has got a more lofty goal. Another thing that you could do is appreciate the resources that you have for yourself, that you have at your disposal. So right now you're watching this video on your screen, which means you've got either a cell phone or a laptop. Be grateful for that. And I'm sure you are, but we forget to be grateful. So it could be the roof that you've got over your head. It could be anything around you that you have. The fridge. There was the old Sadhguru, who's a famous guru in India, who wrote a book called Inner Engineering, which I read, and in it he said, because it shocked me years ago when I read it, and basically he said, whenever you walk past the fridge, bow to it and say thank you. And it's more than the material thing, is that any inanimate object that are within your vicinity, within your periphery, they are there to support you. Everything. The chair you're sitting on, if you're sitting down, the breath that you have, everything is basically a source of gratitude. Also, things that I get given that I couldn't get myself. This is also a source of gratitude. So, for example, you go to the supermarket and the cashier lady smiles at you. She didn't have to do it. But that's so nice of her, right? So be grateful for that. Let's say you're going to work and there's little traffic on that day. That's another source of gratitude. It could be also about someone who bent over backwards for you. So let's say no matter what your relationship is with your parents, but if you had one or two parents or no parents, but whoever put food on the dinner table for you, they bent over backwards for you. And again, I'm insisting it doesn't matter. I'm talking about the act of being able to sustain yourself and live on. Yeah. When you get frustrated and you need to vent, and then you've got someone who's going to listen to you for 5-10 minutes or longer, that person didn't have to do that for you. That's another source of gratitude as well. And then you've got death. I know it sounds paradoxical, right? But it was a lady called Bronnie Ware. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. W-A-R-E. She wrote a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. She was a palliative care nurse. And basically she recorded her conversations with dying patients in the last few weeks of life. And basically the top, what I would talk about, the top one, and the top one is people live a life that is not true. They say, I'm just recalling it now. If only I had the courage to live my life true to my principles and not to what people expect from me. This is the top regret that people have on their deathbed. So how about you take heart now and you take action, and you are grateful for all the things that you can do right now for your life, and stick to what your goals, your aspirations, your beliefs are, and not live because of someone said that you should do this. In the same way, there are two researchers called Thomas, what's her name? There was Thomas Gilovich and Victoria Medvec, and they also add that apparently when people have regrets, they are people who are basically tormented, not so much by what they did, but by their inactions. So it's not so much what we do, but what we don't do. So imagine if you were to do what you are truly capable of. And imagine the amount of contentment you would feel because you are living your passion. You are being passionate every moment. Gratitude for the things that we take for granted. So here's a bit of a morbid thing, but it's absolutely not when you are fully aware of the implication. And it's like right now, you and I, most probably we have 2 legs, we've got 2 arms. So if you've got 2 legs, we can run on the park. We've got eyes, we've got ears, we can breathe, even though we may have like an illness right now, a very severe depleting thing happening in our body. The whole body is not sick. A part of it is. And it's a part that's forgotten about the overall picture of what homeostasis is. But they are healthy body parts that you still have. Be grateful for them. So in other words, it's about being like a child. A child is not subservient to the vagaries of emotional and mental filters. There is no conditioning in a child. He is who he is. So take life at face value and be grateful. And then this forgiveness. One last thing about gratefulness. There is an expression I don't like when people say, it's pessimism over optimism. You need to see, a bottle half. Do you see a bottle half full or half empty? I don't like that expression. I don't like it at all. Because if it is half full, of course, you are optimistic, right? But if you are pessimistic, apparently you see the bottle half empty. But before the bottle was half empty, it meant that you drank half of it when it was full. So is that not a source of gratitude? Yeah. So to me, whether it's half full or half empty, there is no dualism in the way you interpret, whatever is there in the bottle. You drank half of it that was full, so you are happy, and you still have half of it to drink, and you're still happy. So let's talk now about forgiveness. I may shock you and bring in a bit of a controversial point here about forgiveness. I don't believe in forgiving others. And I'm going to explain why. Because to me, others and we're part of the same fabric of reality. We're part of the same universe. So when I forgive myself, I actually forgive others. Because I'm going to bring in the concept of Ho'oponopono, which is an old Hawaiian way of getting people to reconcile with each other. And it has been developed by Dr. Len and Dr. Joe Vitale. And basically the idea is that you say to yourself, you transmute sort of negative memories into positive memories, and basically you forgive yourself, you say I love you, and you say thank you, right? But the idea is that you are the attractor of your life. So when you have perfect thoughts, you then attract a perfect reality. And if you don't, then it means that you are then responsible for what's happened to you. So therefore, you're not a victim anymore. So I may even go as far as to say, let's say you have a car accident, and I know what that means. If you have a car accident, you go, it was not my fault. Well, you don't know. Well, technically, there will be legality around it, and maybe the other car was at fault. But really, why did it happen to you? Maybe it was for a karmic reason. So in the past of yours, maybe it was decided that you had to go through that hurdle, through that pain for you to realize something and move you forward on your evolutionary path. Or maybe it was because of a generational debt that you have, like it was passed on from another generation in your family. But at the end of the day, you are the one to create your reality, and therefore if something goes wrong, then you are the one to do something about it and forgive yourself. And as you do so, then you will in the process forgive others. But others actually don't matter at all. It doesn't matter what other people have done to me. The way I see my erroneous pathway, like a virus if you want to, is that I need to put in another program that will wipe that out. So I only have one option. I need to forgive myself for whatever I did. And even if tomorrow I'm going to keep like saying the same lies or feeling unworthy or feeling that I'm in lack, in love, in fear, whatever, then it means that I haven't actually gone to the blueprint, the original matrix of my life, which is I need to be true. So when you forgive yourself on a permanent basis and you are grateful for whatever happens to you in your life or for who you are, for everything and everyone, your life will change very, very drastically. And then you can flip the forgiveness. You can flip it. So let's say something pretty heavy. I got abused when I was younger or whatever. And you can say, now I have the opportunity to correct that alignment of my life and I forgive myself. And then after forgiving yourself, then you can turn it into gratitude. I'm thankful for that experience because now I am at a much higher awareness of who I am. So it has actually enabled me to see past me. So whether it is gratitude or forgiveness, the more delusional you are about it, like whenever you've got time, anything, you will see that your life will just change miraculously. All right, see ya.